teams are walking out here at Blundell Park ahead of a huge game in the context of both these teams' seasons. Noise reverberates around the stadium here as both sets of fans are ready for what should be a ding-dong encounter between Grimsby Town and FC Halifax Town. Craig Disley and Amari Tunkara kick us off here in a game that might see the Shamen go 9 matches unbeaten. Can they get their 7th clean sheet in a row, and can they get 3rd in the table tonight? An early throw in here for Danny Lowe in the left back position. Moved back into left back for the game against Barnet last week and had tremendous results, and he goes forward towards Matt Pearson. It's headed away initially, and little push in the back there from Marshall, nothing doing, and Matt Pearson of course wins the ball back. McManus skips away from one, he goes past another, he's racing towards the penalty area, but across came Andrew Boyce to make the tackle, and now Grimsby will go long down the line, and Chris Smith, the ball just gone over his head, and Tunkara will get on the end of that one. He's going to hold the ball up here in the corner, and he comes back on himself, and White Bodies have got back behind the ball, keeping shape. He hasn't got a lot of options on here, and he pushes it straight against Paul Marshall, and Chris Smith is dispossessed, but the ball rolls through to Glennon. Glennon forward, right down towards Lee Gregory on the edge of the penalty area, and it bounces not too far away from the goal of James McKeown, but you'd like to think he had that one covered. McKeown to restart things as he goes down the middle. Lois Maynard looks to win that one and does, ahead of Andy Cook. Marshall might take this one down, but he nods it towards McManus, and a little flick to Pearson, very, very good. And Pearson is dispossessed, but it will be brought back for the late challenge of McManus, who is down on the floor, but looks like he'll be okay. Danny Lowe with this free kick. I imagine this will go towards the big free from Mark Roberts, and I'm not wrong, and Mark Roberts does go for it, but he does not quite get underneath the ball, and it goes over his head, but Chris Smith rolls it back to Marshall. Marshall keeps possession with Pearson. Pearson holds one man off and then turns past a couple, and he can't quite get the better of his opposite number there, and it goes back to McKeown, who immediately tries to release Tunkara. Good play there by Bolton just to put the pressure on, and bouncing around the centre circle here, but it's played wide to Sam Hatton on this right back position. Cook's making a run to his right, and it's in towards the far post, and the header is over the bar. Really good ball that from Sam Hatton on the right hand side, and a good header that met it, but it's flown over the bar. 0-0 still. Glennon looking towards the left here for McManus. McManus jumps and he does get a flick in it. Gregory looks to hold this one up. He's got Pearson just inside, but he can't get a hold of that ball. And Pearson wins the ball back in typical Matt Pearson fashion. Now Lee Gregory will take this one out of the air and chest it to Scott McManus. And the touch from Hatton pokes it out for a throw in. And Mark Roberts saunters over to take this one. And we know what's coming here with a weapon that is the Mark Roberts throw. Paul Marshall offers an option short, but I don't think he's going to take that one, Mark Roberts, as he goes towards the 6-yard box, headed away initially. Marshall underneath it with a left-footed volley, and it's blocked by his own man, and then Pearson tries to flick it back into the area, but can only scoop it into the arms of McKeown. McKeown rolls it wide to his left back, Aswad Thomas, who comes over the halfway line. His ball is poor, and then James Bolton misses it, but thankfully so did everyone else, and Matt Glennon collects it. Glennon looks towards the right hand side. Scott Spencer, the man with the brace from Saturday, flicks it on, and looking for Lee Gregory, who pressures his man and manages to win a throw-in. Bolton into the feet of Maynard. Bolton will have it back. Looks towards Gregory, beaten in the air though by Boyce, and then Maynard will flick it forward again, and Pearson just couldn't quite get his toe on that one. High in the air, and Chris Smith will be underneath this, and towards McManus. A good powerful header, and McManus didn't realise the ball was dropping to him there, so it just rolls past him, and it's put forward now by Colbeck, but that will go out for a throw-in. Danny Lowe with the throw-in up down the line, and McManus can't get the end of that one, and a turn there by Cook, and the ball seemed to hit his hand there, but the play goes on, and now it's with Colbeck on the right hand side, and his cross is blocked by Danny Lowe, and it'll be a throw-in. Sam Hatton, a throw-in here, level with the penalty area, and he gets a 1-2 with Joe Colbeck, and McManus, the second time of asking, gets the ball away from him, looks to go down the line where Boyce is waiting to clear. Marshall gets a toe in, and it's picked up there by Disley, who just gives it back to his centre half, who then knocks it high up in the air, and there's a flick on by Cook, and Glennon and Smith communicate well, and Glennon has it. Immediately the Halifax Town #1 looks to go down the left hand side, although it's gone over McManus's head. Lee Gregory might keep this one in, and Andrew Boyce was aware of the Shaman's top scorer behind him and gets rid of it for a throw-in. Mark Roberts will be with the throw-in. A weapon in the Shaman armoury. He goes again towards that 6-yard area. It's headed away only as far as Scott McManus, who looks to get the ball back wide. Can Mark Roberts swing across in here, the centre half, and not a bad ball for a centre half, although it's over the head of his central defensive partner Chris Smith, and curls out for a goal kick. Seems to be a good crowd here at Blundell Park. A lot of people have packed into this stadium to see what is a key battle in the playoff picture, as Maynard receives a little headed knockdown from Scott Spencer and goes back to his fullback James Bolton. Measured ball up towards Lee Gregory, who flicks on, but there's no runners in behind, and McKeown will take that one comfortably. McKeown goes forward, and Lewis Maynard does get his head on that one, although the second one is won by Colbeck, and Glennon will come out to get that one, and he does. Got his foot underneath it, and Lee Gregory again gets ready to hold that one up, but he's beaten. The header only falls as far as Lewis Maynard, and now it's Paul Marshall. Chris Smith plays it simple back to Danny Lowe down the line for Scott McManus, and he lovely little dummy looking for Matt Pearson, but Pearson won't be able to keep that one in. The idea was right, execution not quite perfect. McKeown with the goal kick. Chris Smith, bit of a battle there with Andy Cook, and he goes through to Tonkara, and it doesn't quite reach Glennon, so Mark Roberts will clear it. Thomas picks it up on the halfway line, his touch is poor though and it goes behind him. Pearson will try and hound the ball out of his possession and Thomas ends up going down the line. Tunkara will try and keep this one in, but Bolton will look to hold it up and does very well there, the fullback. Lennon out towards the left hand side. Lee Gregory gets the flick and Scott McManus can't quite get there because it's read well by Andrew Boyce, but he's put into stand for another Mark Roberts throwing opportunity. Roberts will be with the throw-in. His third of the evening so far. This one towards the near post area and there is a flick up in the air and a couple of players lost flight to that one and it's frantically cleared away. High up into the air and Scott McManus gets his head on it and now Matt Pearson looks immediately flip the ball over his head. Chris Smith still up there. Ball's fallen back to Matt Pearson from the defensive header and he's going to shoot from distance and it's low and it's wide of the near post. Hatton now to go down the channel and Chris Smith reads it, tries to find Danny Lowe, but they will go out play for a throw-in. Hatton will come across to take this one. Short into the feet there of Scott Kerr. Disley now picks it up. Gives the ball away to Marshall. It's sloppy and Marshall as well to give to Pearson, immediately to McManus. Back to Marshall and have kept possession well here and Danny Lowe gets the ball off Marshall and goes down the line. Pearson's in behind if Gregory can hold it up and he'll challenge there from the centre half and a little coming together between himself and Lee Gregory, but nothing doing really there as Tunkara now comes over the centre circle. Maynard keeping him for company though and Matt Pearson goes to win the ball back, but in fact it is Lewis Maynard who wins the second ball and he comes in with a big tackle and wins the ball again. The Grimsby fans aren't happy, but it was a fair tackle from Lewis Maynard and it ends up with a Halifax throw. James Bolton into the feet of Scott Spencer, who the throw-in is read there by Craig Disley, who gets there ahead of him, and then that's a big tackle by Chris Smith. Chris Smith is sure to be in trouble here. That'll be a yellow card, I'm sure. Just a late challenge, nothing malicious there from the former York City man. It was late, it was mistimed, and it's sure to be a booking for the Shamans, number 23. He picks his booking and there's no complaints there. A clumsy challenge, a reckless one, and I think Smith knows it and he's happy to go in the book for that one. Ball in towards the penalty area. It's Mark Roberts who of course wins that header and Scott Spencer's touch isn't ideal, but it comes to James Bolton who'll clear it into the stand. Aswad Thomas with the throw-in. Back to Scott Kerr. He goes down the line and it's blocked well there by Pearson, so Maynard has it, although he uncharacteristically trips over the ball. Usually so composed there, Lewis Maynard, but he does well to recover and give it to James Bolton, who looks for a long ball down the line, and Matt Pearson's beaten in the air and he's gone down clutching his head and James Bolton's put it forward once more. Pearson looks to be on his way back up though, and Lee Gregory, oh what a turn on his man, that was absolutely brilliant. Scott McManus has a shot from range and it flies over the bar, but Lee Gregory did absolutely brilliantly there to turn, I think, Andrew Boyce and lay Scott McManus off, and he seems to have picked up a knot there, Lee Gregory, but also seems happy to run it off. James McKeown will go forward, and Mark Roberts will look to get underneath this one. He heads it down, and Lois Maynard is the second touch. Danny Lowe right-footed. Andrew Boyce gets his foot under that one. Ball's been put in the air now, and Paul Marshall gets the head there and didn't read it with Chris Smith, and now Mark Roberts has been dispossessed by Tunkara, and a great side by Mark Lennon. He's let Mark Roberts off the hook there completely, and it's now again with Cook, and he finds Joe Colbeck on the right-hand side, and he tries to whip it into the area, blocked by Danny Lowe, and Paul Marshall looks to clear it, but they can't quite clear their lines, the Shaman, and the crowd are behind their home team here at Blundell Park as Grimsby Town come forward once more, and Scott Nielsen will play into the feet of Craig Disley, and it's all the way back to Sean Pearson. It's a free kick to FC Halifax Town now. Matt Glenn will take this free kick only a moment after saving the Shaman's skin, especially that of Mark Roberts after his slip letting Amari Tunkara. But Glennon came out well to save, and it's a sign of why the Shaman have kept so many clean sheets over recent weeks with a man like Glennon behind the defence and between those goalposts. Bolton. Marshall comes short, opens his body up, and he'll look to whip one with his left foot, gets closed down there and gives it back to Bolton. He goes towards Lee Gregory, who will touch off towards Matt Pearson, towards Scott Spencer with the volley. Scott Spencer caught it very well. Didn't quite have the power to trouble James McKeown, but keeper had to make a save, and it's the first F on target for the Shaman. McKeown looks long, and Mark Roberts gets his head on the end of that one, and Tunkara in fact was offside. The two real chances of this match so far have fallen to the Mariners, an early header flashing over the bar, and then Matt Glennon making a wonderful save to deny Tunkara. But it's still 0-0 here at Blundell Park as it's played back to Matt Glennon once more, who connects to that one cleanly, and Lee Gregory will look to flip this one on, and good header by Boyce, and it'll be a Shaman throw-in. Danny Lowe goes down the line towards McManus, who flicks it towards Pearson. Oh, there's a boot in the face there from Matt Pearson. Unintentional, but there was certainly contact. The home fans aren't happy with that one, but Matt Pearson goes over to try and make amends. The referee is certain to have a word. Yellow card from Matt Pearson. Not sure there's a lot of complaints to be had about that one, as the studs did connect with the face of the defender, albeit unintentionally. It's the second Shaman to go in the book there, behind Chris Smith. McKeown again will launch it forward. Mark Roberts judges the flight of that ball well and looks towards McManus, who does flick it on, and Lee Gregory has time to bring the ball down. Now Matt Pearson, bit of space and time, and he was a wonderful curling ball wide to Scott McManus, perfectly weighted there by Matt Pearson, and he's up against Hatton. Can he get the ball in? He can't, and in fact they got cross ricochets back off McManus. It'll be a Grimsby throw. Down the line by Hatton, flicked on by Andy Cook, and Chris Smith does well to beat Tunkara to that one. Andy Cook again goes down the line, and it's over the head of Roberts, and he's got to be careful now with the presence of Joe Colbeck on his shoulder, but he does well to clear, and Aswood Thomas gets the header, and that's Matt Pearson who collects it calmly, although he does lose out, but James Bolton comes back in to win the ball and inadvertently plays a wonderful ball wide to Scott McManus, who goes towards Paul Marshall. Turns well to keep possession, and now Danny Lowe will look for McManus down the line. McManus tried to flick it past Hatton and didn't quite make contact, so Hatton will beat him to it and end up turning the Halifax number 3 and looking down the line once more. Chris Smith, though, realises there's no danger in behind him and lets the ball run through to Matt Glennon. Glennon immediately throws the ball wide to James Bolton, who's got acres of space here on this right-hand side. Players have come forward for him and he ignores the short option of Spencer and looks long towards Lee Gregory, headed away, and Maynard tries to take it down the chest, but he's just beaten to the ball and it's rolled wide to Colbeck now. To Hatton. Left field ball this time, and Chris Smith does judge that one. And it comes to Danny Lowe, flicks it forward. Scott McManus now looking to go over the top for Gregory with a use of his knee, and it put enough pressure on Andrew Boyce there to concede a throw-in. No long throw from Mark Roberts this time. It will be Danny Lowe to take. Lewis Maynard collects and tries to hold the ball up, and he loses out, and no foul given yet, and he'll look to keep the ball in play, and he does well there. Lewis Maynard gives it back to Danny Lowe. Matt Pearson's got a chance of him, clip in towards Scott Spencer, but he can't make the right run as Aswell Thomas comes over the halfway line. Scott Spencer surging to get back and tackle his man, and in fact he does very well, Scott Spencer, to catch up with Aswell Thomas. Aswell Thomas is looking for it back, and that's good skill on the far side, up against James Bolton now. In fact, he's still got the ball there, Scott Kerr, and he goes down, but referee says nothing, and James Bolton comes away with it. Gives it to Matt Pearson, and look for the run of the right back, but it went far over his head and through to James McKeown. Sean Pearson into the feet now of Andy Cook. Lewis Maynard now picks up the pieces of that one, and Mark Roberts will go towards Lee Gregory, who heads it down to Matt Pearson. Matt Pearson holds off one man and looks to go past Scott Kerr there, but is dispossessed. Scott Kerr's ball, though, is read very well by Mark Roberts. Tunkara now with the ball to his chest and flicks it wide to Joe Colbeck, who sneaked in behind Danny Lowe there. He's up against the Halifax captain, and he does whip a ball into the box, and it deflects off Lowe, got a foot in to Grimsby Town corner. Scott Kerr with the corner now. Goes towards the 6-yard box, and there's the header, I think from Sean Pearson, that goes high and wide of Glennon's goal. Danny Lowe just having words with the referee here, and I'm not quite sure what about, but the play resumes as Glennon goes forward, and it's a good battle that between Andrew Boyce and Lee Gregory so far this evening, and Andrew Boyce wins that one. Hatton into the feet of Kerr, immediately volleys the ball down the line, and it falls to Joe Colbeck, whose first touch tries to get away from Paul Marshall, and Marshall does very well to intercept the ball, and Scott McManus gives it back to Danny Lowe. Wasn't quite the pass the captain was looking for, but he gives it back to Glenn, who, calm under pressure, gets it away, but Scott Kerr will be underneath that one, and Danny Lowe will pick the ball up in the left back position. In fact, he's happy to sell for the throw-in. Danny Lowe with the throw-in, who's settled back into the team so well since returning from injury, and the ball from this seems again to be handled by Andy Cook there, but the referee isn't interested. But it's a good play by Chris Smith there to win the goal kick off Joe Colbeck. Glennon it is. It's a shame and look to build on there. Impressive 4-0 win of the weekend at Barnet in what was arguably their best performance of the season. And they had the chance to build on a free kick here as well, as Lewis Maynard is felled on the halfway line. Danny Lowe, short to Paul Marsh, he's got a lot of space now. Mark Robinson to the far post, and he does go towards that far post area. It was Lewis Maynard who was there first though, and it's headed away. And will Mark Robinson get a chance to put a throw in here? Yes, he will. Mark Roberts with the throw in. I think it's fourth of the evening and his first from this side, and it's towards the near post. Didn't quite connect with that one as he'd wished. He will get the chance to get the ball back now and ahead of Tunkara, and he'll settle for the throw in. Bolton down the line, Maynard gets the flick. Pearson just loses out in the air there to Thomas. Now Grimsby have time to come forward, and it's given to Hatton, who's got space in the right back position. McManus now comes to close him. He's passed it inside, and Joe Colbert comes short to collect, and now suddenly Halifax bodies are getting around the ball, not giving Grimsby much time and space, and it's because of that Paul Marshall wins the ball back well. Matt Pearson will then just keep possession into the feet of Danny Lowe, who looks towards Lee Gregory, whose touch brings the ball into some space, and he gives it back to Danny Lowe. Scott Spencer wants it on the far side. Danny Lowe agrees to give it to him, and his volley is cushioned back to James Bolton. Spencer is still wide, but Bolton turns and will feed his centre half, Mark Roberts, who then looks over the top for Scott Spencer, but it flies out for a throw-in. Thomas, the ball down the line, and it's flicked on into the chest of Tunkara, and Chris misses against him, and Maynard now tries to help him out, and Smith does well eventually to win the ball back, and Smith does very well in fact to get his body in front of the ball and stop Tunkara holding it up, but it is back with Grimsby Town, and Kerr looks to release Hatton on this near side. There's a run being made to the middle that's found. This is Andy Cook. Joe Colbeck is offering himself on the right hand side, and he takes it and gives it back into the feet of Craig Disley. Sean Pearson stretch those long legs of his and come over the halfway line, and he puts it into the feet of Tunkara, who looks on the left hand side for Thomas, who tries to put the ball into the near post, and it bobbles in front of Chris Smith, who accidentally concedes a corner there. Corner on the far side to be whipped in swinging right footed, and Glennon will get right underneath that one and catches it with ease. Looks towards Lee Gregory, who's quite isolated up there as the ball comes towards him, and Hatton is the man who gets the flick back to his keeper McKeown. And McKeown volleys forward. Tunkara flicks it on, and then Roberts is underneath it. Ball forward though is towards Lee Gregory, but he wasn't back in position in time, so Grimsby do have the ball back with Thomas at left back. Looking down the line, and Roberts will let this one run for Matt Glennon. Perhaps a slightly nervy affair here at Blundell Park, and the game means so much to both sides here, and not really many opportunities of note. One forward to Grimsby, and Matt Glennon has to make a great save from Amari Tunkara. But Bolton comes forward now, and Matt Pearson is on the right hand side, and he turns his man. Can he get a ball into the box? And he does, and it's cleared away by Sean Pearson on his far as James Bolton, who tries to keep this ball in play and does. He's got Maynard inside, but goes back towards Mark Roberts. Marshall's an option in the middle, but he goes long towards McManus on the far side. It was nearly a great ball, but Hatton gets in there to head away, and Colbeck will look to motor over the halfway line now, but McManus keeps him for company, and he has to drop the ball back to Hatton. He'll try and create something else. Colbeck goes down on this near side, and McManus says to him, "Get up, I'm not sure what you're going over for there." And McManus now picks up with a great ball into Gregory, and his return ball to McManus nearly came off, but was well intercepted. Now Grimsby come forward again. in the middle here, and Tunkara will turn. Colbeck's looking for the return ball, and Chris Smith read the intentions of Tunkara there very well, and now it's wide to Aswan Thomas. Bolton will head this one away towards Maynard, who might just look to clear this one. He's holding off Tunkara and leaves Mark Roberts to complete the clearance. Pearson lets that one run, and Boyce will head that one to his keeper, James McKeown. Grimsby Town with the fewest wins at home in the top half, but they had the most away wins in the division, which is perhaps a contrast this season of FC Halifax Town, as Aswell Thomas has the throw-in and he goes in towards the mid-drift of Amari Tunkara, but again Chris Smith deals with him well, and Grimsby picking up the ball in the middle of the park there well. A lot so far this evening, with Scott Kerr winning the ball back and spreading in. It is with Craig Disley now, who looks for Sam Hatton. Checks back inside, looks towards Craig Disley, and there's a lot of Halifax bodies around the Grimsby Town players now, really trying to force them. And Scott McManus has sprinted over from the left-hand side over towards the right to force Pearson into a rushed clearance, and he does that very well because Halifax now have the ball back, and Matt Pearson thought he'd won it. He goes in with another tackle. He has to be a bit careful now, Matt Pearson, been on a booking, but it is now James Bolton wins the ball back, and it's going to be scrappy now, but it's not causing problems for the Shaman as of yet. Bolton looks towards Gregory, who comes very deep to chest that one back to him, and the ball forward is going to be dealt with by Mark Roberts, who decides not to go back to Matt Glennon, and if in doubt, kick it out Mark Roberts, and that's what he did, and it will be a throw-in on the far side. Thomas, left-footed cross is deflected. It'll be another Grimsby corner. Corner on the far side will once again be in-swung, and Matt Glennon once again comes to collect it. Two very comfortable and confident catches from the experienced Matt Glennon from two dangerous looking corners. Glennon will look for Scott McManus once more, and that is a very, very good kick, and it's straight towards Scott McManus, and he couldn't have played that any better. McManus looks to cross it first time into the near post towards Lee Gregory. It's cleared away. Marshall in towards Pearson. Can he get a shot off? Grimsby Town surround him very quickly and end up tripping. The nominee for Conference Young Player of the Year, and this is territory for Paul Marshall perhaps to wrap his left foot around this one. The referee making sure Grimsby take their 10 yards, because at the moment it's probably about 3, so they will be pulled back and made sure they are in the right position. Scott Spencer and Paul Marshall stand over this one. You'd think with Paul Marshall's left foot he would be favourite, and it is going to be Marshall who does try to whip it in towards the near post, but it's blocked by the wall. Then Marshall try and pick it up, and he's taken out again by Aswan Thomas. That's a poor challenge, and that'll be the third yellow card of the evening, but the first one for Grimsby Town, as the number 3 will pick up a yellow card. Aswan Thomas. Marshall will take the free kick then on the far side that he won, and this one does suit him because it's left foot and it's in swinging. Mark Roberts, of course, around the far post area. He's up against Sean Pearson, who'll be marking him. Two of the biggest men on the field against each other. It's whipped in towards the near post area, and Scott Spencer nearly got the flick, and McKeown has to get hands on it and bundle it out for a throw-in, but what a delivery that was by Paul Marshall. The ideal position for a Mark Roberts throw in now, right next to the corner flag, and he's going to throw one right into the heart of that 6-yard box, and it in fact goes a bit deeper than probably planned, but Paul Marshall gets the flick on and Maynard gets the second flick, but no one was gambling, and McKeown throws it straight out towards Sam Hatton. The Shaman have to get back in position here as they saunter over the halfway line, and Joe Colbeck collects it and gives it back to Hatton. And now the Shaman have done very well to retain their shape and get back into defensive position, as Aswad Thomas, who's on a yellow card now, has it in the left back position. It's pushed forward towards Tunkara, who tries to use his strength to turn Mark Roberts, and James Bolton comes in there to clean up, and it is towards Tunkara in the area, and Mark Roberts gets the header, and he'll hold the ball up. Tunkara, and he's very strong, and James Bolton reads him very, very well. Second cross though is from Aswad Thomas, and Mark Roberts beats Matt Glennon to it, and the second header is by Matt Pearson. Falls to Scott Kerr though, and he'll look for options, and he goes into the feet of Cook. He hasn't got many options though, because he's been crowded out by the Shaman, and Scott Kerr has to try and lift this one into the area. Mark Roberts heads away, and now Maynard will try and flick into the feet of Gregory, but weren't quite on the same wavelength there, and it will be back with Hatton, and his ball is intercepted by Danny Lowe, and back towards Matt Glennon, who'll then look towards Scott McManus, who beats Hatton to the ball well there and gives it into Marshall. Drops it back to Danny Lowe. The crowd are getting frantic here at Blundell Park, and that'll suit Halifax. The ball through to Matt Pearson. Can he create something in his attempted through ball to Lee Gregory? Didn't have enough on it, and a good opportunity there probably wasted by Matt Pearson, and it's now forward towards Danny Lowe, and it's headed in. It's very scrappy, but Chris Smith once again will whip it towards the far side. Matt Pearson collects the ball, does well to intercept, and plays it to James Bolton, and now Lewis Maynard, and Lewis Maynard lets the ball run through his legs so James Bolton can have it once more. Maynard he looked to turn Craig Disley there and use his strength. We've seen him do it so much already this season, but this time Craig Disley read it in. He plays a 1-2 with Colbeck. Colbeck now tries to run past Maynard, and that'll be a third yellow card for the Shaman. Colbeck goes past Maynard, and that one goes under the category of professional foul from the former Rochdale man, and a dangerous position for a Grimsby Town free kick. Just under 10 minutes now until the end of the first half. Grimsby Town will have a chance to whip this free kick in towards a dangerous area, and it's Scott Kerr with his right foot. He's been at the heart of everything Grimsby Town so far this evening, and it will be his delivery, and it is in towards the far post, and it's just over the head there of who I believe to be Sam Hatton, but it goes out for a goal kick, and Glenn will restart play. Matt Glennon looks forward, and Lewis Maynard looks to be underneath it, but goes over him, and Scott Kerr as well, but well done Paul Marshall to win the ball back, and it looks to be arrowed over towards the left hand side, although a late challenge there, Matt Pearson will be brought back for a Shaman free kick. Paul Marshall it is. Be a free kick from deep, and again Mark Roberts situates that far post area, and it's over the head of everyone, and even Chris Smith couldn't quite jump high enough, and Roberts is not happy with the manhandling he felt he received at that set piece, but the referee says nothing doing. James McKeown it is, who goes down the pitch where Paul Marshall wins the header. Matt Pearson looks over the top for Gregory with his header, and Boyce's touch is heavy there, so he ends up having to knock it out for a throw-in under pressure from Gregory. Danny Lowe with a throw-in towards Matt Pearson. heads it in the air, and Paul Marshall comes in to win the second header very well, and Hatton's under pressure from McManus. Oh, and that's a good touch there in the middle from Scott Kerr as he... Oh, that's a good tackle as well by Paul Marshall as Scott Nielsen looked to go over the halfway line. A few challenges been thrown in here by both teams, some of them fair, some of them not, but that was a good one by Paul Marshall to prevent Nielsen. Great chest down there by Gregory to Paul Marshall. He just cushions it wide to Scott McManus, who's going to turn back and give it to Lowe. Wasn't quite the ball Lowe wanted, but Lowe does very well to touch the ball away from Colbeck into Gregory, who looked to just flick it to the on-rushing run of Danny Lowe, but it wasn't quite read, and Mark Roberts will have to head that one away, and Maynard gets the second touch. Scott Spencer won't get there in front of Thomas. Down the line once more. Tunkara loses out to James Bolton, who's played very well up against the front man so far this evening. Bolton down the line. Scott Kerr flicks it forward, and there is Mark Roberts to head away. There's the throw in down the line, and Scott Spencer will head that one away, and Aswad Thomas will have a second go with the throw in. Aswad Thomas to the feet there of Kerr, and Aswad Thomas with a very dangerous ball into the heart of the 6-yard box, and Mark Roberts heads away, and Marshall then heads, and another header by McManus, and the ball goes into Kerr, who calmly looks for Hatton, who then finds the channel when Tunkara is, and Chris Smith gets in and tackles. Now Pearson's got time to run. He's got McManus making a good run down the left hand side, and Pearson times it perfectly to find him. A good early cross there by McManus, and Lee Gregory salutes the idea, but he couldn't quite get across the front post quick enough, and it'll be into the hands of McKeown. McKeown high and long, and Mark Roberts will look to get underneath that, and it's chested down very well there, and Lois Maiden looks to get back, and he can't quite make a tackle, and flying in there with Chris Smith. He's got to be careful on a yellow card, and in the end Nielsen ended up running it over and just managed to prevent a goal kick by sliding it out and conceding a throw-in. Danny Lowe in the left back position right by the corner flag will take this long throw-in. Scott Kerr will head forward, and now it is Paul Marshall. Lee Gregory looks to get underneath it, but he's beaten by Hatton, and now Tunkara has the ball in a couple of yards of space, but well in there James Bolton, and Scott Spencer does well to win the ball, and Bolton looks immediately over the top for Lee Gregory, and that's a good looking ball, and it is Gregory up against Boyson. Neither of them read the ball at first, but then it ended up with Boyson, Gregory battling for it, and the clearance was only half completed towards Paul Marshall. Another ball down the line is tried to be met there by Matt Pearson, but it's well defended by his namesake Sean, and it will be a goal kick. Kicked forward here by McKeown. Good header there by Mark Roberts, who beats his opposite number, and Mark Roberts again will get in there to head, and this time Lee Gregory will take it down, and Scott McManus wasn't quite expecting that knockdown from Gregory, and it didn't reach him in time, and it's forward there from Warren Boyson. Matt Glennon comes out to collect it calmly, and Danny Lowe offers himself at left back, but Glennon just looks to take the sting out this game, kind of kill the momentum just before half time. And he kicks it forward now towards Lee Gregory. He can't get underneath that one, and Sam Hatton will nod it back to McKeown. Not the greatest spectacle so far at Blundell Park this evening, but it's a match that means a great deal to both teams here, so action is surely to follow at some point as Bolton heads away, and it goes as far as Colbeck. Good early cross, but Chris Smith heads away, and Scott Spencer will look to get on that, and he tries to nod it on towards the on-running one of Lois Maynard, and as Pearson touches the ball away from Kerr, that's a foul from the Grimsby Town number 4, and a 5th yellow card of the evening before this first half even finishes. The second for Grimsby Town, and all being pretty much merited, I think it's fair to say. And it will be a free kick just outside the centre circle for the Shaman. Matt Glennon goes towards Mark Roberts, who's going to come in against Sean Pearson, and his head away on as far as McManus, who initially looked like he was going to try and hit that one, and Roberts has it at feet, and he tries to just slide it into Matt Pearson, but Scott Kerr does well to intercept, and he turns away from Marshall and Roberts. That was brilliant play from Kerr, and now it's men piling forward for the Mariners. It's going to be a right-footed shot from distance, and it's over the bar from Andy Cook, but they broke well. Grimsby Town there, and it was brilliant play from Scott Kerr to set up the opportunity. And a half chance for Grimsby, that could have been more, but it remains 0-0. One minute of added time is indicated by the fourth official as Matt Glennon knocks the ball forward, headed away by Disley, and Tunkara backs into Chris Smith there to keep hold of the ball, but Paul Marshall gives it back to Danny Lowe. Is there one last chance here before half time as the ball goes down towards Lee Gregory? One in the air by Sean Pearson. Maynard has the second one, and coming together between the two there, and Gregory really wants a free kick, and he felt like he was manhandled there by Pearson, but the referee says nothing doing. Well, I'm not convinced he actually saw the incident. Mark Roberts it'll be, with the throw-in just for half-time. Can they grab something, a lead to go into the second period with? And again, it's just towards the near post, but he'll get a second chance now. A second thrown in quick succession, a second attempt, so to speak, for Roberts, and this one it is longer, and it's flipped by Maynard, and no one gambling. And it will be half-time here at Blundell Park. Not a great first half for either side. The best chance coming to Amari Tunkara, who slipped on a mistake from Mark Roberts, and Matt Glennon did well to save. And the game restarts with Lee Gregory and Paul Marshall, and it's back towards James Bolton, towards Scott Spencer, and this is what hoping to be a better second half than the first period here at Blundell Park, where it is 0-0. Throwing is only as far as Boyce, to then gets rid of it straight away, and Danny Lowe will look down the line, but it's cleared away. Back with Hatton at right back now for Grimsby Town, and he pushes this ball down the line, looking over the top, and Chris Smith gets in to head that one away. It'll be a throw-in, which Sam Hatton will take. Hatton looks forward, and it's flicked on. Mark Roberts will try to get there ahead of Tunkara, and he does, and well kept in from Scott McManus, and Spencer tries to win the ball back, and it's just hoisted forward and flicked by Chris Smith, puts it back into the danger area, and Danny Lowe to mop up there at the back under pressure from Tunkara, gives it down the line only as far as Kerr. Now Tunkara's going to burst into the area, he shrugs off one challenge and tries to place it in the near post of Glennon, who was unmoved and saw that one flashing wide. Glennon as he kicks the ball into the night sky here in Grimsby, as the crowd are in good voice for both sides here in what is a crucial game, and the atmosphere is certainly ringing out around as Matt Pearson picks the ball up with about 30 yards from goal. He tries an effort that's blocked, but it falls to Paul Marshall, and James Bolton has made an option in right back. Lewis Maynard's in the middle, but he's waiting for Scott Spencer to make the run down the line. It's blocked off by Nielsen. Bolton it is. Mark Roberts now towards Nielsen, and he's tackled, and Scott Spencer will look to keep this one in, but it just runs away from him. And as well, Thomas will throw it down the line. Bolton gets in there and flicks into the middle where Kerr is, and he goes forward, and Danny Lowe has the presence of mind to head it back to Glennon. Glennon towards Lee Gregory. He gets the flick, and just too much on it for Scott Spencer to chase, and it's cleared away by Pearson instead, and Chris Smith clears the ball right against Tunkara, who manages to try and flick it wide, but all the way out for a throw-in. Mark Roberts to launch this one down the line, and it goes long, and Maynard loses out to Kerr in the air, and it's towards Tunkara. Turns, uses his strength well as three Shaman tried to get the ball off him, but Chris Smith does well to intercept, and he feels he was fouled, but James Bolton completes the clearance when he goes far as Colbeck, who's got a shooting position, and he fires it over the bar. The mascot here seems to be giving Matt Glennon a bit of stick as he goes to take this goal kick. Doesn't put off the experienced goalkeeper though, who then kicks into the sky, and it falls down towards Danny Lowe. He's got a bit of time now to choose what to do with this ball, and Maynard makes a run in between the fullback and the centre half, but although Lowe spotted the run, the pass was intercepted, and Tunkara has it, and Lowe gets back in position to intercept. Colbeck looking over the top, and it drops nicely there, and he's maybe get a shot off now, but Matt Glennon comes in. Between Glennon and Roberts, they managed to stifle that attack, and appeals for a penalty fall on deaf ears for the referee, Mr. Barrett. Ball up in the air, and Bolton will chase this one and maybe look to concede a throw-in, and then he does keep it in play, but only as far as Disley, but Bolton does very well to get in and tackle Disley once more, and now it's with Nielsen, who's going to cut in from this left-hand side. Thomas makes the run, and Bolton read that run every second, and he came in to intercept, and he'll now just slide the ball past Nielsen and look for the run of Gregory, but again it's intercepted. The final ball from both sides lacking so far here at Blundell Park, and Gregory up against Pearson. He's getting starting to look a frustrated figure here, Lee Gregory, up against the big centre halves of Boyce and Pearson, who've managed to keep him quiet thus far, and the ball is not kept in there by Nielsen on the near side, and the crowd aren't happy with that. And Aswell Thomas is right in the referee's face, and he needs to be careful because he's on a yellow card, and the atmosphere is getting ever so delicate here at Blundell Park. Pearson flicks the ball on towards Lee Gregory down the line, and he wins a throw-in off Sean Pearson. Matt Pearson with the throw-in. Bolton's got an option behind, but he wants to go forward, and he does go forward towards Lois Maynard, who gets a crossing towards the near post. Spencer tries to get there, but Pearson is in the way, and Roberts will immediately try and put the ball back in, but the volley didn't have enough on it. In fact, the touch from Joe Colbeck was poor, and it's towards Matt Pearson, who looking to turn Colbeck, but was fouled, and Pearson takes it quickly. James Bolton coming forward towards Matt Pearson. Oh, the touch was heavy though, and he loses out to Scott Kerr. Bolton was making the run, but Lois Maynard's going to win this one back, and he does ever so well. He skips past one challenge and tries to go past another. Ball breaks to Paul Marsh on his left foot. He's got Maynard making a run. Maynard comes inside. Can he shoot his left foot? He does. Lois Maynard, and that is a simply stunning goal from the central midfielder for FC Halifax Town. A wonderful left-footed hit that was in the top corner all the way. James McKeown beaten, all ends up, and again the Shaman lead on their trebles with a goal that was simply stunning. Play restarts now, and what a goal from Lewis Maynard to really open this game up, and a moment of real quality this match was begging for, and Maynard produced it. And now it's Grimsby Town who have to give Halifax a reply in this game. It is Grimsby Town 0, FC Halifax Town 1. Down the line from Danny Lowe. Ball's played back towards James McKeown, who clears it first time, and Mark Roberts gets underneath it. Oh, Mark Pearson nearly gets to the end of a loose pass there, and he feels tripped. He has words there for Craig Disley, and Craig Disley protests his innocence from the furious Matt Pearson. And now Disley picks up again, and he gives it away, and Scott McManus gets in there and concedes a throw-in. Ball down the line, and Tunkara is beaten by Chris Smith. Throw in by Hatton, and he's going to look to go long. FC Halifax Town going to keep their 7th consecutive clean sheet, because if they do, they will have another win under their belt away from home. And Lee Gregory is fouled there by Sean Pearson, but he's turned Pearson, he's running at Thomas, and he's not allowed to play on there. And in fact, they're not allowed to take the free kick quickly, even though Scott Spencer had made the run, and that could have been a lot better opportunity than maybe the referee allowed it to be. But it'll be a free kick on the halfway line. Forward by Danny Lowe. Scott McManus, who heads it into the path of Lee Gregory. He's going to turn onto his right foot and try and whip a shot towards the far corner. It's on his far as Pearson who volleys. It's cleared, and McManus tries to get in there, and he does well to shield the ball and win a throw-in. Ball up the line by Danny Lowe. Tunkara heads it on, and Lewis Maynard picks it up and in towards Pearson, who takes the ball down his chest as well. Him and Spencer get each other's way. Spencer has the ball though, he tries to chop off to Gregory, and in fact I think it was Paul Marshall who was in a better position, who wanted that there, but Grimsby come away with it now, and Tunkara uses his body to turn Danny Lowe and does well to find Disley. Disley then looks at the option of Hatton bursting over the halfway line. Options inside and out there for Hatton, and his left-footed ball is poor, and Chris Smith pounces upon that and nudges it to his left-back and captain Danny Lowe. His ball over the top towards Lee Gregory is cleared by Boyson. Both teams struggling to get the ball on the floor here, but it is Scott Kerr who now looks to retain possession for Grimsby, and they're trailing here and need a goal as they punts it forward, Pearson, and Bolton gets his head on it as far as Craig Disley, and now it's Andy Cook who plays it into the middle to Scott Kerr, and now they're finding it hard to break down the Shaman here, who's sitting in good shape, and it's a nice little ball inside to Tunkara. Bodies are back for the Shaman as Tunkara surges down the right hand side, and he skips past Danny Lowe, but Chris Smith comes across and wins the ball well. And it's a poor mistake there from Craig Disley. Sign of the frustration of the Grimsby Town players and supporters here that seems to be ringing around Blundell Park. Danny Lowe looks up the line, cleared there by Hatton, and it's another sloppy pass, this time by Andy Cook. The line by Danny Lowe, headed away by Sam Hatton, and a good header there by Paul Marshall, and he tries to get the ball off Lee Gregory, and he does well to block the cross, but it doesn't fall to him, and now Grimsby come away once more, and it's a trip there by Sam Hatton as he slides over on the turf, and it's put forward by Chris Smith. Boyce wins the header, but Maynard wins the second header, and that's going to be towards McManus if he can keep this in, but he hasn't quite got the legs to keep up with that one. Danny Lowe heads it on. Tunkara then gets his flick, and Lewis Maynard looks towards Gregory. Sean Pearson gets in there, and Maynard looks to pick up the second ball, but he's just beaten to it, and James Bolton, left-footed, half volleys back to Chris Smith, who tries to whip one down the line looking for Scott Spencer, but it'll roll all the way to McKeown in the Grimsby Town goal. Played so well at the weekend, FC Halifax Town, once they took the lead, and will this be another case of being able to hold on and hit their hosts on the break as they have a free kick here. Matt Glennon will take this, but he won't take it quickly. He'll need all the time in the world to take this one as they look to preserve this lead here at Grimsby. Glennon does take, looking wide towards Scott McManus, who flicks it on. No one down the line though, and it'll be cleared away. Chris Smith gets his boot under that one. And it falls now to Colbeck, who looks to knock one down the line. Smith again reads that expertly, and Marshall gets it away, and he gets a second attempt. He's been very good at that role today, Paul Marshall. As now Danny Lowe has it in left back, and he doesn't concede a throw-in and knocks it down the line. Hatton gets the header though. Tunkara with the ball at feet, and he looks to go down the line, but Danny Lowe comes in once more, and he manages to win himself a goal kick. Glennon, right-footed. Both Pearson and Gregory going for this one. It is Pearson with the flick, and Gregory came to the ball, so couldn't get on the end of it, and it's flick forward, and Tunkara surely uses a hand there as he looks to surge past Roberts. Anyway, Roberts does magnificently well to keep up with Tunkara, the pacey Tunkara, and get the tackle in, but it was a handball by the front man for Grimsby Town. Matt Glennon. Lee Gregory's peeled off the right hand side. He's up against Thomas and forces Thomas into a sliced clearance, although apparently by foul means, and it will be a free kick to Grimsby. McKeown towards the far side, headed away by Chris Smith, and it's going to be picked up by Hatton. Immediately down the line, Colbeck has it at feet. Back to Hatton, and his ball is misjudged. It bobbles in front of him, and McManus gets a touch here. Now Gregory will look to hold this one up, and he does. Matt Pearson's making a run, and he drops off towards Paul Marshall. He'll look immediately out wide for Scott Spencer. That's a good ball. It's just fallen a bit behind Scott Spencer. He does keep it in though. He's up against Thomas, and he cuts back and goes towards Bolton. And Bolton looked for the run of Pearson, I believe, and it's just again bobbled in front of him and sliced out for a throw-in. Thomas down the line, headed away there by James Bolton, and another header by Craig Disley gives Halifax a throw-in. Down the line once more. Matt Pearson looks to get on the end of that, but I think that's what Thomas did, get the last touch. Protests from the home fans once more, but I am fairly certain the left back was the last man to touch that ball before he went out. Bolton looks to go into the feet of Maynard, who scored that superb goal to give the Shaman the lead. And Scott Spencer now has it at feet, and he tries to flick it in towards James Bolton. Initially didn't read it, and Bolton tries to win the second ball, but it'll drop towards Maynard, who flicks it forward. Gregory tried to go underneath that. It might fall from McManus, and he doesn't get there before Boyce, and it breaks through to McKeown. Forward from the Grimsby Town goalkeeper, and Mark Roberts will head it, and Lewis Maynard gets a foot in. McManus, he looked to go over to the far side but doesn't make the right connection, and Maynard has to head it towards Spencer, who looks for Pearson, who couldn't quite get on the end of that. And now Mark Roberts looks to the header, but it's well flicked on there, and Tunkara flicks it past Chris Smith and hits the ground looking for a free kick. And I have to say there wasn't much in the way of contact there, and the referee agrees and gives no foul. And Lee Gregory has feels he was pulled over there by Sean Pearson, but maybe the referee feeling he's not going to give Tunkara a free kick. He's not going to give Lee Gregory one either, and it falls to Tunkara again. He tries to flick it through towards his strike partner, and Chris Smith does well to hold him up, and Paul Marshall, and the ball's back on the far side with Hatton. Ball into the box towards the far post, and there's the header, and it's over the bar. Pressure building from Grimsby Town, momentum swinging slightly in their direction, but the Shaman are standing tall and fighting against the tidal wave, and it stays Grimsby Town 0, FC Halifax Town 1. Forward by Glennon once more. Lee Gregory loses out to Sean Pearson. That's a battle that's been going on all evening, and Lee Gregory certainly feels he's been on the rough end of justice one too many times this evening, but this time the referee agrees with him, and it will be a free kick, and Sean Pearson, unsurprisingly, does not agree. But Paul Marshall will take the resulting free kick. Mark Roberts stays back for this one, interestingly. It won't be the tall number 15 who looks to get his head on this one. In fact, it might be Lee Gregory, or Chris Smith in fact, who'll look to head this one back across goal. And it will be towards Chris Smith. He does get the header, and it comes, well, I thought he was going out for a corner there, but it does stay in with Scott Spencer, and Scott Kerr gets in. Does well not to concede the corner, and now he's up against Scott Spencer, and he might try and want to win a goal kick here, but instead he wins a throw-in. Thomas down the line. Now it's Nielsen who looks to go towards Tunkara, and he gives it away for a throw-in. Bolton down the line. Thomas heads it away, and as far as McManus has come in field here, and initially looked to give that one back to Danny Lowe, but looks to find Lee Gregory, who's fought himself into a good position here. Can he get a shot off? And he does well to hold it from Hatton. Gives it back to Scott McManus, who shoots with his left foot, and it's just wide of the far post. Great hold-up play by Gregory, and an effort that just flashed across the 6-yard box and narrowly past McKeown's post. Could so easily have been 2-0 to the Shaman. McKeown forward, and Danny Lowe heads away. Good touch by Hatton as he looks to give it down the line once more straight away, and Chris Smith heads away, and Lowe will look forward, and Lee Gregory does flick it on, but no one's running in behind, and it goes all the way through to McKeown, who with some urgency will look to put this ball back into the Halifax half with interest. Up towards Cook, and Chris Smith, as ever a rock at the back so far this evening, heads away. Paul Marshall doesn't quite get underneath the clearance, and it goes towards Scott McManus. And now Lee Gregory with a turn on Sean Pearson, a very, very smart turn, and Scott McManus has it on the left-hand side. Can he find the cross? And he can, but not quite for Lee Gregory. In fact, Scott Spencer are running into the box to create an option, and Lewis Maynard concedes a goal kick, but a good move again by the Shaman. McKeown with the goal kick. Roberts heads away. McManus now has it, takes the ball down well, and plays it to Danny Lowe, who looks down the line, and it's a header by Boyce that will concede a throw-in. It won't be Mark Roberts to take this one, as I think as they look to preserve their lead, Neil Aspin sees it wise to keep his central defender back in defence, and Danny Lowe will have it down the line towards Scott McManus, and it's too much on it and goes out for a goal kick. McKeown goes forward once more. Headed away by Smith, and it'll be a throw-in. Feet of Tunkara now, collects it well from the ball from Hatton, and Cook tries to force his way past Lowe, and he does pass it wide, and the ball into the area was evaded Chris Smith but was cleared away eventually, and Matt Pearson looks long towards Lee Gregory, and right idea but too much on it, and it flashes past him for a throw-in. It's going to be a double substitution here for Grimsby Town. Coming on. I know they're having a bit of trouble with the board here, the fourth official, so we can't tell you straight away, but it's going to be Paddy McLaughlin that comes on, I believe, and Scott Nielsen that comes off, although there is a bit of confusion with regards to the board that he's now trying to sort out. Fourth official, Mr. Hutchinson, really deciding now that it will be Joe Colbeck that comes off to be replaced by Paddy McLaughlin. And another substitution coming up, which we'll see, I believe, Ross Hanna coming onto the field of play. And it is Ross Hanna to replace Amari Tunkara. McKeown goes forward, and Chris Smith underneath that one, although he's beat in the air, only drops as far as Lowe, who gets his boot under that one to clear it for a throw-in. Hatton down the line, held up there by Cook, and managed as well to get in there and win it. Boyce intercepts and takes the ball down. That's a nice little play there by Grimsby to work across in position into the chest of Chris Smith, and half-hearted appeals for handball there from the Grimsby Town supporters, who weren't convinced they were going to get the decision themselves, as the ball works back to Sean Pearson. Gives it now to Craig Disley, who's come deep. Scott Spencer comes to meet him, and he's put it to the legs of Scott Spencer, looking for the run of Thomas, and Bolton comes across to meet him, and the ball runs out for a throw-in. James Bolton it is, who goes forward, and headed on there by Paddy McLaughlin as far as Spencer, who looks to switch it to the far side to McManus, but far too much on that ball, and it sails out for a throw-in. Aspin studying his clipboard and his notepad, and looking at what changes he can make to positively impact on this game, and is a case now of holding out and staying firm with this 1-0 lead that the Shamen have, courtesy of a stupendous strike by Lois Maynard. Lovely little 1-2, and it's back with Ross Hanna, and he then in turn gives it back to Hatton. Scott Kerr has it in midfield. They can't find a way past Halifax midfielder. That's a clever 1-2. Scott Kerr has it once more. And after a lovely bit of play, passes straight to Danny Lowe, gives it to Lee Gregory, whose first touch, as always, is brilliant. He's got options. He's got Matt Pearson one side. It is Matt Pearson. A great chance now for Shaman if they can work something. It's wide with Lee Gregory. He's approaching the area. He's got Thomas for company. Will he be able to get a shot off? And he does go towards the far post. It's deflected, and I think it's going to be a corner ball, and it is. McManus will be with the delivery. There's his left foot on his far side, and he plays it short, looking for Matt Pearson, and not sure his teammate there was completely on the same wavelength, but the ball is back in Grimsby possession, and Danny Lowe cuts out one attack and hoofs the ball forward. That Lee Gregory will try to get on the end of that, and he does, and Lee Gregory gets it, although I think he used a hand there in the process, so it'll be a free kick. Free kick is quickly distributed to Aswad Thomas. He's got a lot of time and space on the ball, but that's a bad challenge by Mark Roberts. That'll be a yellow card, I'm sure. He's come in late there. He thought he was going to get the ball first, and the little flick, I think, from Ross Hannah perhaps, just in front of him, deceived him, and he's come to the back of the former Bradford man and received a yellow card. Substitution now, and it's one former Hyde man coming off for another. Scott Spencer, the debutant of Saturday and the brace scorer at the Hive, were replaced by Ryan Crowther, the winger who arrived at the Shea not so long ago himself. And he immediately takes up a defensive position as Grimsby Town have this free kick, which Scott Kerr will whip in. Goes in towards the far post, a good shape on the free kick, and Mark Roberts heads away, and Danny Lowe gets the second clearance. Hassan will get on the end of this, and he half volleys back into the penalty area. It's flicked on, Bolton then wins it, and now it's Paul Marshall who gets himself in the right position again. Nielsen looking to go wide and work across an opportunity, and he's into the feet here of Hannah, who gives it now to Scott Kerr, who looks wide. Paddy McLaughlin, he's going to try and get this one in with his left foot, and the ball's blocked by James Bolton. It'll be a corner, and the Grimsby Town fans start to get behind their team, urging them on, pressing them on to get this equaliser in this huge playoff contest. To be in towards the 6-yard area, and a good take from Matt Glennon. And Scott McManus makes the run, and Glennon does look for him, and although the kick probably wasn't what he intended, it does find its way to McManus, who gives it back to Paul Marshall, who then looks over the top for the run of Gregory, and Gregory is offside, I think. Yes, he is. I couldn't quite see the lines from down the near side, but the reaction of the crowd tells you he's offside. Forward by McKeown. Mark Roberts leaps tremendously and heads away towards Ryan Crowther, who looks to release it straight away. Sean Pearson. Grimsby having a lot of possession, but not able to break down the Shaman wall of defence that stands in front of them. Chris Smith looking to get rid of it again, and a good composed cushioned volley by the centre off Sean Pearson to give to Aswan Thomas, who then looks the ball down the line, and Mark Roberts gets in there to clear away. Thomas has it back. It's a good chest there by Andy Cook to get away from Bolton, and he comes into the centre of the pitch and looks at the far side for Nielsen. Good tackle by McManus, and now Pearson has a bit of time to run with the ball. He's got McManus on the left hand side. He's going to go himself though, Matt Pearson, and McManus was possibly the better option there, but he looked to really cut through the heart of the Grimsby defence and nearly worked for Matt Pearson there, as Paddy McLaughlin now has it. He gives it to Aswan Thomas. Scott Kerr to Warren Boyce. Boyce once again throws it forward, and it's flicked on there very well by Andy Cook. Now it's Craig Disley on the edge of the area, and Chris Smith does so well once again to win it, and now he has the ball and he dives in with a great tackle, and Lee Gregory now drops it towards Ryan Crowther. He's got Aswan Thomas to run out. Thomas is on a yellow card, so maybe he's going to commit him here, although he's got Paul Marshall on the far side, and the pass was poor, and it's a good opportunity, good opening wasted, but Matt Pearson has it again. James Bolton's in the right position in an open area, and he was going to look for Ryan Crowther down the line. Aswan Thomas gets the header in though, and Scott Kerr picks it up. His touch is heavy, does keep it in though, and finds a good ball down the line for Andy Cook. Disley, and Thomas has it once more. He doesn't know what to do with the ball here, and he looks to be running out of ideas as to how to affect this game and how to play the ball that's going to hurt the Shaman. And they're desperate times now for the home side, who are really trying to get back in this game. We're being urged on by their home supporters. Ross Hannah now tries to flick it through for Nielsen, but it runs through towards Matt Glennon. Glennon it is. It goes forward. Again Pearson against Gregory. Pearson and Gregory again having another battle, and both been pulled one way and the other, and Gregory again does not look happy, and Maynard gets in there to win that one, and it's headed away in a bit of space now for Andy Cook to turn. Paul Marshall again gets in well to tackle and break play up, and he gets the ball back from McManus. He's got Gregory making the run. Can he find Gregory? It's a very good ball. He's up against Andrew Boyce. Crowther's going to make a run on the inside, and he looks for Crowther, but it is just behind him, and now it's Paul Marshall. Down the line from James Bolton, and Crowther looks to get the crossing straight away, but I don't think Gregory was expecting him to play the ball so early. Played to Scott Kerr, who's patrolling the centre circle and looks left towards Aswad Thomas, into the feet now of Paddy McLaughlin, the substitute. He again looks in turn to go down the line towards Thomas, and Mark Roberts will let that one just roll out of play. After an impressive return of 7 points in 3 home games against Alfreton, Luton and Braintree, these 3 away games against Nuneaton, Barnet and tonight against Grimsby were pinpointed as crucial, as key towards the fortunes of FC Halifax Town's playoffs ambitions come towards the end of the season. And so far, as we speak of it, they are now 3 out of 3, as the ball falls to Scott Nielsen, and Chris Smith has been a colossus at the back so far, and he comes forward for it and looks for Ryan Crowther. Steps away from McLaughlin and just takes the sting out of it and gives it to James Bolton. He looks towards Matt Pearson. Aswad Thomas wins their header, and it's a good header in towards Craig Disley, and he calmly drops it back to Aswad Thomas. Mark Roberts gets in to read that, and good header there by Matt Pearson towards Lee Gregory. Touch gets him away from Sean Pearson initially, and he shoots from range and decided to take it on early, and it floats over the bar of James McKeown. McKeown it is who goes forward. Good header there by Mark Roberts, and then Lois Maynard, and another good touch by Lee Gregory. In fact, a fabulous touch and a wonderful find where Ryan Crowther now has space to run at Aswad Thomas. He's approaching the penalty area. Is he going to go inside or out? Uses the stepper, goes on the outside and wins himself a corner. Ryan Crowther wins the corner and will take it himself. 10 minutes left here at Blundell Park. It is FC Halifax Town 1, Grimsby Town 0. It's played short to Scott McManus, who might look to shoot with his left foot. He just tried curling effort, but it's blocked, and Bolton gets there first. Marshall from range. Will he shoot? He does shoot. He picks out a left-footed effort, and it's over the bar and into the stand. James McKeown goes into the stand himself to collect that ball. He's in a hurry here to take it as his team trail to the Shamen 1-0. He goes forward, and Scott McManus is happy to let that one go out for a throw-in. It's going to be another substitution by Grimsby. Coming on is number 18, Andy Thanodge. He's going to replace Scott Kerr. Danny Lowe will go down the line. Matt Pearson can't quite get the flip, but it drops to McManus, who thought Gregory was going to be making that run, and he wasn't quite reading the same intentions of McManus, and it goes through to McKeown, who gets rid of it straight away. And McManus loosely underneath that one. It's headed on by Cook. Chris Smith, again composed as ever, comes away with it, and just puts a searching ball over the top that McKeown's going to have to come out and collect. Pearson hounds him and chases him down, rushes him into a clearance which is long and headed on by Cook. Header away by Danny Lowe though. Now it's Hatton's turn. Ball's a bit scrappy over there on the left hand side, and in the end it is a clearance by Paul Marshall and a late tackle, a rash tackle by I think Andy Cook, and it's just going to be a free kick and nothing more. Matt Glennon will take this goal kick. His free kick, I should say. Matt Glennon will take this free kick. Down left hand side from McManus, and that one goes straight out of play. Not his best kick there, Matt Glennon, but he's had a good evening's work for the keeper so far. Hatton once more will go down the line. Headed by McManus. Up in the air from Andrew Boyce. And it falls to Chris Smith, who's got options, and he'll look to see if Lee Gregory can hold this one up. Pearson heads away, but McManus will get the flick towards Lowe. He puts the ball straight up in the air. Underneath this is looking to be Paul Marshall, and Disley wins the header, but as far as McManus, and Pearson takes the ball down well, and he looks for McManus, who's got the pace on Hatton, but it is Pearson who reads it very well to come across and play it back to McKeown. Smith. Here's it away. Hatton can't keep the ball in, and it'll be a throw into Halifax. Throw in forward by Danny Lowe. Header there. Away by Hatton. Another throw in for the Shaymen. Ball's played forward, it's flicked on, and Boyce initially thought about letting that one go for a goal kick, but Lee Gregory was chasing him, and in fact puts enough pressure on McKeown to slice out for another throw-in. There's a lot of discontent around Grimsby Town and their supporters as FC Halifax are squeezing this win out and restricting the hosts. Throwing towards McManus, it's intercepted. It's clear as far as Maynard, who then goes wide towards Marshall. Looks over the top for McManus, and Hatton looks to get in there. He's had the touch though, so he can't let that one run out, and he doesn't, and volleys it away. But Danny Lowe gets the header, and it drops towards Maynard, who manages just to touch the ball away from one and tackle his way past another, and McManus puts the ball in towards the far post, and it's collected well by McKeown. Aswan Thomas now comes forward with the ball. That's a really wasteful ball. It goes all the way out for a goal kick. Matt Glennon it is now, who's going to go forward and with this ball and towards Matt Pearson. He's beaten by Boyce. The ball will run now towards Thanodge, who flicks it towards Hannah in the area. He's offside, but he falls over anyway. Matt Glennon looking towards the far side. McManus gets the flick, and Gregory will get on the end of this, and he'll hold it up in the corner, and he'll settle for a throw-in. There are choice words behind me in the Grimsby Town home supporters section who are not happy with their team. But FC Halifax Town have, since scoring the goal, have snuffed them out and defended ever so well as they have done over previous weeks. Ball's in the corner and ball did look to go out. It will be a Grimsby throw, which Hatton throws back to his keeper James McKeown, and Aswad Thomas is in space, but McKeown instead elects to go forward with a long kick, and Smith was up against Andy Cook there, and it drops here, and it's going to fall to Ross Hanna on the far side. He's got to shoot an opportunity, and Mark Roberts comes across brilliantly to defend, and that was the first real opening Grimsby have had since going 1-0 down, and Mark Roberts was in there to prevent it. Aswad Thomas, it's for Sean Pearson. Maynard looks to get into him and gets a toe on the pass, so it does go out for a throw-in, and Ross Hanna up against James Bolton here, and he does a left-footed cross, and Chris Smith clears on his father McLaughlin, who looks to step away from one, and his right-foot effort is another half chance, or even a better than half chance for Grimsby Town, but McLaughlin couldn't shape his right-footed effort and curl it into the far post of Matt Glennon. Matt Glennon forward. Less than 2 minutes left of normal time here, and surely the referee's additional time to be added on very, very shortly. Scott McManus just pokes the ball in towards Matt Pearson, who turns very well and gives it back towards Scott McManus. Ryan Crowther's on the far side. In fact, Matt Pearson's making a run on the near side, and he goes towards the corner and hits the deck, and referee says no foul, and Grimsby look to come away with it, and the two of them manage to get the ball away from Scott McManus, and now Craig Disley comes forward into the feet of Thanodge, who finds Aswad Thomas. Looks down the line, and little dummy there by Boyce, who's joined the attack, was well executed, and it's found its way to Paddy McLaughlin. Thomas makes a run down the left, and Paddy McLaughlin's ball was so poor, so poor, and it's met with anger and frustration of the home fans, who are not happy with that one bit. Mark Roberts puts it forward towards Lee Gregory, who turns on it, and he does well to hold it up and eventually lose out to Thanodge, but he did have 3 or 4 men trying to get the ball off him, and Lee Gregory gets the tackle in, comes off Crowther, and it'll be a Grimsby Town throw-in. 4 minutes added on by the referee and the 4th official. Matt Pearson looks to get to this one, he's beaten to it. It will be Aswad Thomas. That was a lot of space for Disley in midfield. Hassan makes the run, they've got men forward, they just need to get this ball into the box, Grimsby. Mark Roberts will clear those ones all day long, though. That's his meat and drink, as Ryan Crowther tries to complete the clearance and slice it towards Thomas. McLaughlin now, crossing opportunity, headed away by Maynard. Lee Gregory backs into Pearson. Pearson does well, though, to give it to Hatton, and it's last chance saloon here for the Mariners. They've held tough for the last few weeks in defence, the Shamen. They haven't conceded in the last 6 games. Can they make it 7? They're holding out so far. Another throw into Grimsby Town. McLaughlin will take. He goes forward and it's flicked on, and then it's cleared away by Mark Roberts, and Paul Marshall looks to make the second clearance, but in the box I think is Nielsen, and Marshall makes the tackle, and it's a throw-in. McLaughlin with the throw-in, and he desperately throws it into the air, and it's headed away by Maynard and then cleared away by Pearson. Gregory holds it up and looks at Pearson once more, who looks on the left-hand side where Scott McManus is running, but Sam Hatton took up a good position and comes in to sweep up and play it back to McKeown. Grimsby Town have not got long left to get an equaliser, but in the same token, they're Shamen have not got long left to hold out for a 9th game unbeaten and really put a positive message in their playoff hunt. And Gregory flicks it towards Crowther and just didn't have the legs on it to evade Thomas, and it's down the line, and Bolton hacks it away for a throw-in. No chances taken by James Bolton. Thrown back to McKeown. He's going to go long. Only Gregory remains up for the Shamen. He does go long, James McKeown. Mark Roberts again gets that header. And Chris Smith will chase Ross Hanna in the corner. And Ross Hanna is happy to take the throw in. McKeown is joining the attack, the goalkeeper. It's desperate measures here for Grimsby Town. They need to get back into this game. But equally, the Shamen need to hold on. It's thrown in. It's headed by McKeown. It's the keeper who gets the header, James McKeown. He flashes it across 6-yard box, but straight to Matt Glennon. He might think about shooting himself, Matt Glennon. In fact, it looks like he does, Matt Glennon. He does shoot. In fact, he didn't quite have the legs in it. He might have just been looking for Lee Gregory, but can you imagine that if Matt Glennon got himself on the score sheet? The far side is Nielsen now. He's up against Bolton. Bolton ends up fouling him, and Nielsen and Bolton have a bit of a coming together. And Nielsen looked to have used his legs there, and Bolton is not happy with that. And in fact, the referee will call them over, but Nielsen seemed to petulantly kick out there, and he's got a frustrated figure. And Ryan Crowther's been shown a yellow card, and is that for dissent or has he put the wrong man? I'm not quite sure, but Ryan Crowther's in the book for a tackle James Bolton made, but there we go. Last chance as Hassan will swing this in. McKeown's still up there. Can they hold out? And it's in towards the far post, and it's onto the roof of the net. Hearts in the mouths of the Shamen there for a second as it looked to just dip under the far post of Matt Glennon. But agonisingly for the home side, and brilliantly for the away side, it just dropped onto the roof of the net, and that might be it for FC Halifax Town to claim their 9th game unbeaten. Glennon forward. Lee Gregory takes it down. Matt Pearson's making a run, and it's a good tackle by Thanodge. Do they have time to mount one more attack, Grimsby Town? Is there time? Matt Pearson racing to get back into position. Thanodge knocks it wide. It's Nielsen again up against Bolton. In field, Crowther tackles, and that's the win for FC Halifax Town. An amazing 7th consecutive clean sheet. They're in irresistible form, the Shamen. 9 games unbeaten, 3 points here at Blundell Park. Lois Maynard's stupendous win of the difference, and who can stop FC Halifax Town now as the train keeps rolling on through their conference rivals and picking up points and saving clean sheets and the time when it really matters. Another impressive forwards for the Shamen as they win this game tonight. It's FC Halifax Town 1, Grimsby Town 0.